Hello, I'm Burt Green. This is the Burt Locker. This Burt Locker in particular is the Casuals Guide to UFC Vegas 79. Now, what is a Casuals Guide? The Casuals Guide is my MMA preview show. I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts, the UFC, that kind of thing. And basically, I do a lot of research on all the fighters, and I do this anyway because I just love the sport. This, in a nutshell, is a preview of the entire card. That's every fight, every fighter, from start to finish, from the early prelims all the way up to the main event. And I'll just give a bit of background information on every single one of them. And I wrap it up in about 15 minutes because I know that you've got stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? Your dance card's full. Who's got 2.5 hours to sit around watching like a full card preview? Nobody's got that kind of time. So, yeah. This is effectively just useful for if you're going to be watching the event on Saturday. Some of the fighters you may not have heard about, you're going to know a little bit about them. Maybe you'll even try one. I make my picks on here. I wouldn't recommend following them, although, like generally speaking, I get about 9 out of 12. That's about my average on picking these. So, do you know what I mean? I get more right than I get wrong, but putting them all together on one is very rarely going to go right. But either way, this is a card I'm very excited about, mostly because of the main event. It's fantastic matchmaking. It's one of the best main events you're going to see on a fight night in ever, really, ever. Since Gamrot versus Sarukan, probably. This is that kind of matchmaking. Hey, Gamrot's a common denominator in those. Either way, let's get cracking with UFC Vegas 79 Casuals Guide. So we're going to start off in 135-pound division. Montserrat Rendon taking on Tamiris Vidal. This is the 135-pound lady. So Rendon's undefeated out of Mexico. She's only been on the regionals though, not fought in the UFC yet. She's 5-0. The division is weak enough to let her in. She goes through a decision every single time. Vidal's got a little bit more about her. She's Brazilian. She's 7-1. She's got some good knockouts and submissions. She won her UFC debut by flying knee to the body, which was a really good one actually. It was good to watch. I'm going to take Vidal here just because I feel like she's got a bit more about her. Then you've got Mizuki Inui taking on Hannah Goldie, 115 pounds ladies again, 5'3", plays 5'4", 4.5 inch reach for Goldie now. Mizuki, 14-6, she fights out of Japan. She's from Japan, but she actually fights out of the Serra-Longo, New York fight camp, which is it's where she's got a kickboxing background, but if you look at her record, she's got like 5 submissions on there. And you're like, And then you notice that she trains with, Matt Serra and Ray Longo. So, yeah, if she's out of that camp, yeah, you bet your ass she can grapple as well. So, she's got some good kickboxing, and she loves going for those arm bars. She really does. And she also looks like an absolute assassin. She's got like a real kind of cold meanness about her look, and I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, getting the look right is a big part of being a successful fighter, let me tell you. Goldie, she hasn't fought since she got blasted with that spinning back elbow by Meatball Molly in London. She tends to get overwhelmed by good strikers. Maybe she has been working on the weight cut. You know, she's coming down one this time. Look, she's got good grappling and she can hit an armbar, but I think she's going to get destroyed here. I think Mizuki should win this one, most likely by submission. If I was going to shoot for a specific submission, I would say armbar. Mohammed Usman taking on Jake Collier in 265-pound division. 6'2", plays 6'3", with a half-inch reach for Usman. Now, Mohammed Usman is Kamaru Usman's older brother, so he's much more likeable. Honestly, he's much more likeable than I feel like Kamaru just became very unlikable. We start talking like, "Hey Joe," I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to go into that. His big brother, well, his older brother is very, very scary. He's a heavyweight Kamaru Usman. Who needed that? Come on, man. He's got great power. He's got a fantastic left hook. His win over Junior Taffa was also very impressive because I quite rate Taffa. I thought he would drop that one. But Mohammed Usman, scary prospect. I think he won the Ultimate Fighter as well. Not for nothing. Anyway, Jake Collier, he used to be a middleweight. He's fought a middleweight, light heavyweight, and now he's a slightly doughy heavyweight. He's lost 5 of his last 7. I mean, he's not doing great, honestly. It's win or get cut here, I reckon. I think Usman should probably win this one. I'd lean towards a knockout. Now you've got Jacob Malkoun. taking on Cody Brundage in the middleweight division. 5'9", plays 6 foot with a 1 inch reach for Malkoun. Now, Malkoun's pretty well rounded. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He did beat Abdul Rak Al Hassan, who I quite rate. I've not seen much of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in terms of finishing yet. He hasn't got any submission finishes, but he is good down there. Brundage, he's had a rough few fights. He got choked out by Rodolfo Vieira, which is, you know, nothing to be ashamed of, because Rodolfo Vieira is one of the best grapplers on the planet, quite frankly. He got knocked out by Olzushek. Brundage, he does have skills though. He's out of Factory X. Those guys tend to lean heavy on the low calf kick, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to lean towards Brundage here. I think that he's due a win. I think he'll mix up the striking. I think he can get the win there. Tim Means then takes on Andre Fialho, 170 pounder, 6'2", plays 6 foot with a 1 inch reach for Means. Now Means 32-15-1, hell of a record. The Dirty Bird. He is as old school as it gets, really. He's very, very good. He's tough as old boots. He just throws down. He has a habit of just biting down the mouthpiece and just getting into brawls. He does have some good technical boxing though. He's really, really got some good hands. He's been fighting since 2004. So you better believe he's pretty good everywhere. Anywhere the fight goes, he's been there before. You've been fighting since 2004. There are no surprises at this point. He's been on a rough run though. He's lost 3 straight. He's lost 2 of those by submission. Fialho is also on a 3-fight skid, so this is good matchmaking. Fialho is probably loser gets cut, honestly. Fialho tends to present a kind of a Muay Thai kind of style of attack. He plants the feet heavy and generally throws good low kicks. He's got some good boxing as well. So this one's a coin toss for me. I think that Means might have the toughness and the craftiness of the veteran of the Dirty Bird. I think he's going to get it done. Then you've got Dan Argueta taking on Miles Johns. 135 pounds, bantamweight division. 5'7", plays 5'7". Both have a 68-inch reach. Now you've got Argueta, he's 9-1. He's built like a monster from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's well-rounded. He's very physically strong. He's got good grappling as well. Built like an absolute tank. And then you got Miles Johns, who's just another absolute monster. 13-2. Like he's strong and he sets a good pace. He's got very, very good hands as well. Don't let him hit you. This one seems pretty even on paper, honestly. I think Miles Johns has been in the UFC a little bit longer, so he's probably had more experience against better guys. So I'm going to take Miles Johns by knockout in this one, although realistically this one is a coin toss. I think these two are going to throw down. That's going to be a fun fight. So that's the main event of the prelims. Now we'll move on to the main card. Don't forget, if you enjoy this content, hit subscribe. It's very useful. Hit the bell notification and all that, and you see when these videos drop. I do a fight card preview every week. I recap events, have a bit of fun. We have fun on the recaps because it's a bit of a laugh as well. Look at funny news stories, things like that. It's nothing to. It's light. It's light. It's entertaining. We also do the terrible bets. I like to put some terrible bets down on a Saturday morning usually. Don't forget also there's my NFL Fantasy League, which I blast out here on YouTube for all to see. See all the good decisions, all the bad decisions, the wins, the losses, all the drama, all the glitz and glamour of the Orion Bowl Fantasy League. And you get some good fantasy advice in there as well. It's a really fun one. I quite enjoy doing those, if I'm honest. So yeah, subscribe basically. There you've got Ricardo Ramos taking on Charles Jourdain, 145 pounders, the featherweight. So 5'9", plays 5'9" with a 3-inch reach for Jourdain. Ramos is a team alpha male guy fighting out of Brazil. There's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, obviously, but being a team alpha male, his guillotine is also just on another planet. He's also got some nice kickboxing. He got a nice spinning back kick knockout in his last fight as well. So look, his kickboxing's really coming a long way, although he's predominantly a grappler. Jourdain is very well rounded. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt himself, mopped the floor with Kron Gracie, just kind of shut him down really, just played very defensive, but won on points. I think Ramos is slightly more dangerous here. I think that I can't count Jourdain out, but this should be a fairly good fight, but I'm going to take Ricardo Ramos in this one. You've got Brian Battle taking on AJ Fletcher, 170 pound welterweights. So you've got 6'1", playing 5'10", with a 10-inch reach for Battle. Battle is gigantic for welterweight. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, Brian Battle sits at 10-2. He's the Ultimate Fighter winner, former heavyweight. He's got a huge frame for 170 pounds, 10-inch reach. That's crazy. He's got a very good Muay Thai clinch, actually. He uses it really well. Gets those knees up in the midsection. He's got very good submissions. He's dangerous and he's undefeated since he got his new haircut. So he's kind of like the blonde Brunson, who Derek Brunson's been cut now as well. Oh, shame. Anyway. Brian Battle, Brian Battle, Bleach Blonde, undefeated so far. So AJ Fletcher. I thought for a second it was Valtteri Bottas. Thought Valtteri Bottas, circa kind of 2018, had come to fight in the UFC. He does look very, very similar. Anyway, he's built like an absolute tank. He's going to be at a massive reach disadvantage here, but don't let him get a hold of you because he has got a real good squeeze. Garomba found that out. He got a good guillotine on him. Brian Battle should take this one if he's got anything about him at all, because he's going to outweigh him. He's just going to be too long and too good, I think. Then Marina Rodriguez takes on Michelle Waterson, 115-pound ladies. This is a rematch. So you've got 5'6" playing 5'3" with a 3-inch reach for Rodriguez. Rodriguez is an excellent kickboxer, really good kickboxer. She was on a tear before she ran into Amanda Lemos, but there's no shame in losing that one because Lemos is absolutely brilliant. She's looking to bounce back here against Waterson, who she beat fairly convincingly the last time out. It wasn't massively competitive from what I remember. I haven't rewatched it, but it's just from what I remember. The Michelle Waterson, the karate hottie, the shtickers wore off a long time ago. She's just getting a few more fights in now to get the money before she retires. That she's had a good career, not great. She came through in the days of kind of like, you know, the Paige Van Zants, the hot girls coming in and doing fighting, and they just didn't last long. She's the kind of last of those characters that, don't get me wrong, she is attractive and she does have very good karate, right? She's got great striking, she really does. But you know what really bugs me about Michelle Waterson? She's too nice. She's too nice for fighting, and there's room for nice characters in the sport. Like GSP is nice, like Tom Aspinall's fairly nice, but you've got to have a bit of an edge to you as well. I don't feel like she's ruthless enough. She just isn't. She's so happy to just have a good fight, high five the whole way down the stretch whilst getting outpointed and losing a decision, smiling and laughing and hugging the whole way. It annoys me. If she'd have been more ruthless, if she'd have just bit down and been ruthless and been just a little bit more horrible, she could have gotten to a title. And I think it's a real shame that she never got there because she was too happy to just be on the losing end of so many decisions that she could have won had she just been a little bit smarter, worked on her grappling a bit more. And I think honestly it's a waste. It's annoying because she's very, very talented, and it does bug. It's one of my biggest bugbears in the sport, honestly, because she seems lovely. Don't get me wrong, and brilliant character. She's absolutely wonderful person. She is a great fighter, but she could have been a champion if she'd have just been a bit more ruthless and aggressive, in my opinion. Anyway, Rodriguez gets the finish here because look, Chael Sonnen said it best: if we've got two fighters that fight and the older fighter loses, then they rematch. The older fighter will lose again, but faster. So I think Rodriguez gets the finish. She couldn't beat her when she was 34. She's not beating her at the age of 37. Not happening. Bet the house. Bet the house. Tell you what, you can bet the house on Waterson now because it's just to try and annoy me. Anyway, Bryce Mitchell then takes on Dan Ige. 5'10", plays 5'7", 1 inch reach for Ige. Bryce is Mr. Redneck. He's great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. He got a twister. That's what his big thing was. I think it was the second in the UFC. They said it was the first, but I think it was actually the second. I think it happened before. Anyway, his grappling is on another planet, and so is he. Quite honestly, he wants to debate Joe Rogan about flat Earth. He's a nutter, but he's very good. He's very good, and he does have quite a good character about him. He's got, his confidence took a bit of a hit when he got pancaked by Topuria, but he found a bunch of excuses in that one: food poisoning, or he had a cold, or something. I don't know. Well, whatever excuses make him feel better, make him feel good enough to come back and fight again. And I'm glad that he is. Dan Ige is a savage, though. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt himself. He's a judo brown belt. We know what that means. Look, if you have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you have judo as well, you're probably hard as nails. And Dan Ige is. He really, really is. He has got hands of stone as well. Good Lord. He cracked Damon Jackson onto another planet not that long ago. I just think that Dan Ige is going to be much too much for Bryce Mitchell. In a straight grappling contest, it would be close. Add strikes in there and throws the advantages with Ige. Ige by knockout for me. I think it'll be a nasty one. Then you have the main event of the evening. I'm going to do an in-depth look at this one because That's going to be just a separate video. I'll title it Fiziev versus Gamrot deep dive or something, because this fight is so good that I just had to go. I like these guys so much. Anyway, 5'8" plays 5'10" with a 1-inch reach for Fiziev. Now Fiziev, he's 12-2. In short, he's an old school Thai boxing legend, and I mean legend as well. Like, he was like a mythical character at one point. Then he comes over to the UFC. He dropped his first fight, but he's fighting someone who was very good. But he's so good at setting traps. His striking is on just an other level. Against Gaethje, he got tempted to just get into the brawls, but I think he goes back to his more technical style, because his style is very technical as well. You miss a lot of it. Like, he uses leg kicks and body kicks and feints, and he'll feint twice to get someone to think that they're being kicked in the body, so it lowers their hand, and he'll bring the left hook up and over. His left hook is his favourite weapon, and it's bloody effective. He throws it with so much power, and yeah, he sets it up so well, because he's just got these crafty ways of just bringing people's guard down. So all of a sudden your hand's there, but you haven't seen the left hook coming over the top. But he's so good at setting up, and it's like breathing to him. It's mushy. It's no mind. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have to think about any of it. All of it is so well trained in that he just doesn't have to think about it. And his shins and his kicks are so nasty. Absolutely love Rafael Fiziev. Then you've got Mateusz Gamrot on the other side, who's just, his grappling is so goddamn good. I don't think that standing he's going to be able to compete with Fiziev, honestly, but his grappling is on another planet. His chain wrestling is fantastic. He's a legend from out the KSW days in Poland. He's a Polish legend, and he's just so good. His grappling is fantastic. He prefers taking limbs to taking necks, although he'll take either. But he's very good at grabbing ankles and pulling people in towards him. So it allows him to shoot takedowns from very far away. And he chains his wrestling together. So it's like grab, release, grab, release, grab, release, and then he'll get you down to the floor. Brilliant stuff. Matchup-wise, I think over 5 rounds... Oh no, I'm going to lean... Right, this could go either way. I would say it's either going to be a submission for Mateusz Gamrot, or it's going to be a knockout for Rafael Fiziev. I'm going to lean towards Rafael Fiziev, just because I think his striking is so unbelievably good, and every round starts on the feet, and it's going to be difficult. Fiziev does have a 90% takedown defense as well, but he's never run into a grappler quite as good as Mateusz Gamrot to this point. Fantastic matchmaking. Unbelievable fight, this. Mate, if you are a mixed martial arts fan, just go do yourself a favour, watch this fight. It's going to be a real treat. I'm going to love watching it. As I said, I'm going to go into more detail on Fiziev versus Gamrot. That's just on... I'll probably put a link here anyway. So we'll have a look at how I'm going to be doing terrible bets on Saturday as well. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.